G'day folks, and welcome to the show. Obviously, I'm not in Tasmania or the Antarctic. I'm in Northern Australia, which is my second home. The smell of the late spring fires indicate to me that this is the time that I like to be here. The barramundi start to move and they start to get really aggressive towards their breeding season. This is the Doughboy River, one of my favourite river systems that spill into the Gulf of Carpentaria. Sit back and relax. Rex Hunt Fishing Adventures, off and running.
Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. The old bearded burbler, he's in his element. It's just like nature. It's what we're all about. Wagons ho! Have a look at that! Whoa! Just when they think it's safe to come out. Not an animal! Bang! I guess in the end, that's probably why we all go fishing.
Shark. Low tide is a terrific time to just see where you want to fish. All this will be covered in water in 2 or 3 hours' time. Water starting to look at the bait behind that snag there. Oh, smells healthy. Folks, one thing I love about the estuarine systems of the mangrove areas of this part of the world is there's always something new. And unbeknownst to our guide, I know exactly what this creek is called. This is Phil's Creek. And wouldn't it be a coincidence if I had Phil on board? I've got Phil from Perth. Yeah, that's him. You've met him. But seriously, Phil, I reckon it's a terrific day to go out and just have a look at the mangroves and the estuarine systems. There's something about it, isn't there?
For sure, Rexy, yeah. Fish is an absolute bonus.
And this is a long way from Perth and Australian football, isn't it?
It's a great place to be, bud.
They play up here with a funny pointed ball, folks, and a big sticks with a bar across it. And I tell you what, they wear shorts 24 hours a day. Down in Melbourne, I'm just turning the electric blanket down to 3 as we speak. And today, folks, we're going to have a real good look here. You probably can't, but I can smell success. I can smell the mangroves. One of the good things is have a look at low tide, because as the tide starts to move in, the fish take their vantage points, and that's where the system all starts to work. Got a good feeling in my water today, folks.
A bit of a hole in here, Rex, so
Yep.
we'll throw the pick out.
Righto. Yes. He grabbed that as soon as I just went flick. So this is just the very, very start of the flood tide. Around these areas where they're ambush city for barramundi and also mangrove jack. Now, because this fish hasn't shown himself, I reckon it could be a jack. He feels all right, and he is a good one too. Look at this. That is a very, very, very good example of why we come up here. These are the Mike Tyson of the estuary. Unlike the barramundi that grab the lure and go into the air and dance like Muhammad Ali. Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That's a nice fish, nice fish. Mangrove Jack. What a beautiful example of how this estuarine system is working. That, folks, is one of the real examples of why we go fishing up here. And particularly in areas around the Gold Coast and off Brisbane, these actually go to sea and they get them up to 9, 10, 11, 12 pound. But in the old scale, 2.5 pound of mangrove jack, Not a bad start at all. He's an absolute beauty. And away he goes. Whether he makes it or not, there's no question, folks. He'll make it because he's a real hunter.
It's that time of the show when Rex Hunt Fishing Adventures turns into Rex Hunt Nature Adventures, folks. We tried everything piscatorially possible to catch a barramundi for you, but it wasn't to be. Our guide Phil took us to the very end of the Doughboy River where salt water turns into fresh. Local knowledge when navigating these rivers is a must. One slip up and you could find yourself being lunch for one of our local inhabitants.
As far as we can go, Rex. The rest is by foot, mate.
Fair enough.
Go up the track a bit and see if we can't get a Saratoga.
Our very last-ditch effort of the day was to trek through this recently burnt-out bush to spin and fly fish for the Saratoga.
My goodness me. Rexy the mountain goat. But it is beautiful country, there's no doubt about it, Phil.
Yeah, for sure. We're just about there, mate.
Look at that waterfall, that is amazing. My goodness me, out in the middle of nowhere.
Nice deep pond here. We've caught
pretty, isn't
barramundi and Saratoga in there.
That is very, very pretty. It's quite an amazing thing here, folks. We live in the most desert-like and arid country in the universe. And coming up virtually out of one of the driest spots on the continent, this beautifully spring-fed headwaters of the Doughboy River. That is as pure as the day, that water. I'd like to dive in there, folks, but please don't. There's saltwater crocodiles up here. You just got to understand that you don't go swimming in northern Australia unless really it says you can go swimming.
Despite perfect conditions, no Saratoga, no barramundi, but the experience, priceless. Maybe the dynamic duo will have better luck on the sand flats. That's next on Rex Hunt Fishing Adventures.